Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Realm of Ori. In this video, we will continue with Volume 13, Chapter 2 On the Verge of Devastation, Part 3. And before we start, this video contains spoilers from the anime and manga series. And by the way guys, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon to get notifications for upcoming videos. So without further ado, let's get into the video. An atmosphere of imminent triumph permeated the bridge. A beautiful girl with long dark purple hair tied back into a single ponytail had unknowingly taken her seat next to Faraga as an adjutant. It was only when these soldiers and their generals were not on guard that the girl was able to invade. "Who are you? Huh, no? Then it's okay to give me tea. I've been visiting on the side and feel thirsty." Hearing Faraga ask who was coming, the men on the bridge turned their heads. Next, they found the maiden and were surprised to find her eyes wide open. "I'm asking what you are." Faraga slowly stood up and came face to face with the maiden. Then draws his gun and asks the same thing again. Even so, the maiden continued to laugh. Even when a gun was pointed at her, she still didn't consider it a threat. "Who am I, you ask? My name is Ultima. It is a very important and precious name given to me by Lord Rimuru." "Your name is Ultima? Haven't even heard of it." "Yeah? You are so ignorant. I've come to ask a lot of questions today, and it doesn't look like it's worth expecting." "What did you say? Because you're going to die soon, right? So until then, I hope you can reveal all sorts of information to me." "Hard to believe, I lost to the other side in terms of stamina? I'm so afraid of such a young girl." Faraga speculated on Ultima's purpose, and next found out that her purpose was actually quite obvious. Outside the window was the trapped Veldora. Such a sight symbolized the imminent victory of the Empire, and it must have been desperate to see in the eyes of those demonic creatures. It was to save him that the magical creature underneath Veldora acted, right? Her name is Ultima? Even I shuddered at the sight of such a magical creature, and I didn't expect the Intelligence Bureau to fail to grasp this figure. She's an ace, I'm afraid. It must be a high-level magical creature that belongs directly to Veldora. That must be right. She was a subordinate that had only recently been named. Although the appearance was close to human, the demonic aura was unnerving and evil to the point of being indescribable. "I get it. You're from the demon race, aren't you? Wow. That's awesome. That's the right answer. She's definitely an aristocrat. That's okay if it's below the Middle Ages, but if it's an older species, it might be a struggle to deal with." "No, in this case, we have a way to seal the demon's stunt. Demons who can't use magic are nothing to fear." Thinking about this side, Faraga secretly gave instructions to the ministry. He wanted his men to launch a magic vein disruption radiation on the inside of the warship. "It's surprising that Veldora has a demon like you as a subordinate." "Huh? Lord Veldora's subordinate? Hey, you don't have to hide it. In that case, there's no other reason than to come to the rescue of the master." "No, I am a loyal servant of Lord Rimuru." "She's under the demon Lord Rimuru?" "No, her goal must have been to save Veldora." "That's rude. So, you're here to save Veldora, right? What have you been saying since just now?" "I just said I was coming to ask about something. Don't you people listen to people?" "Is that a bluff? I don't think there's any need to hide it, but what's this guy's purpose?" "So, what do you want to ask?" "The construction of this ship and the way it is used as a major focus. Also exploring the remaining war power in the Empire in passing. And how many strong men there are on your side, as far as you know, just admit it. You underestimate us, so just so. I'll admit she's a little tricky, but what can the other person do when they're alone?" "Hey, you think we're gonna tell the truth?" "I don't think so, but it doesn't matter. Let's forget about that. Is the tea ready yet? I've been waiting." "Forget the tea, I'll serve you something better." Seeming to have shaken off all the confusion, Faraga pulled the trigger. Bullets were fired, and that became the signal for war to begin. The place was also affected by the magicule disturbing radiation. She opened her left hand and let 8 rounds fall with a clatter. "That's a funny toy, but I prefer what Lord Rimuru has in his hands." "Yeah? I'd like to see that." The results were less positive than expected, but Faraga wasn't surprised. He put his gun away and drew the sword that hung around his waist. "Hurry up and drive her back to the demon world. What's it like to be sealed by someone who's good at magic?" Putting on a misguided expression, Ultima crooked her head. "Hey, are you in a hurry? The time for chatting is over, annoying demon." "Oh, you want to fight me? You don't have to say that. Would anyone be stupid enough to respond to a deal with the devil?" "Stupid? I say, is this supposed to be about me? Stupid. Don't you even understand that? Then I'll tell you something. It's the strong ones you want to explore, and I'm one of them." While Ultima was talking, Faraga stabbed his sword through in a single breath. The stab at Ultima's heart, even if the opponent was a demon, it couldn't avoid it, it was a sure fire blow. I'll kill you last. A voice came from behind Faraga. Faraga's sure fire strike couldn't even touch Ultima. This is incredibly realistic for Faraga. Since you don't want to talk to me, that's okay. But when I ask a question, you have to give me the answer. Rest assured, even if you don't tell me, I can take knowledge at will. Then we'll start with you. Faraga turned his head in a panic as some sort of circular object flew past him. That thing is a human head to be exact. How could? Looks like he doesn't know much information. Hurry up and find the next one. Once that was said, Ultima casually twisted the head of the enemy soldier general, played for a few seconds and then dropped it, starting to repeat the matter over and over. One by one, the fallen appear. The bridge was suddenly hell, filled with shrieks and fear. This mana disruptor is your new weapon, isn't it? Theoretically, to hinder magic by firing a jumbled number of commands at the magic element? It does have an effect on magical things, but do you guys think it will work for me? A bluff? Don't think you can bluff your way through. Well, I guess you don't understand. If the flesh is made up of monstrous beasts and so on, one can expect to play to great effect. But don't you think there's no point in doing that when you've already acquired flesh like me? What did you say? Also, if it's a lower order demon, it doesn't mean anything to a higher order demon, does it? Just as you would naturally breathe, we can naturally generate magic as soon as we are aware of it. Just like this. Ultima disappeared without a trace as soon as the words were spoken. At the same time, the head communicator sitting in the last position flew out with it. This is what Ultima made by moving in a flash. See? Just now I just moved and this man's head flew off. It's beyond the speed of sound, but it doesn't send out shockwaves or anything, right? Because I move like this by magic. And then there's. Ultima flicked her wrist. The front of the fingertips seemed to blur for an instant, immediately followed by a bang, and with that impact, the adjutant standing beside Faraga lost his head. How could? High-ranking demons, is she really? He found no chance of beating Ultima no matter how much he struggled. So it was decided not to keep it any longer and to use the slayers used specifically to deal with demons. Don't get cocky, you damned demon. The spirit summons the flaming giant. Come, flaming high spirit of the origin. Destroying the bridge, the flaming giant descended upon it. I admit you're a monster. But we've been doing research on demons. So we also have a foolproof response. It's a pity that even you're going down. Even after hearing Faraga's high voice, Ultima still had a smile on her face. A smile. He didn't think it was such a terrible thing to experience for the first time in Faraga's life. No way. That's not possible. There's no way she can defeat the flaming giant we summoned. It is only to summon such scum, not to get carried away. While I'm at it with a kind smile on my face, you'd better be honest with yourselves. Otherwise you will taste the despair. Ah, this is the end, Faraga understood. The next second, right in front of Faraga's eyes, the flame giant, the embodiment of absolute power, froze to pieces. As if in a breath change, Ultima unleashed the elemental magic, frozen hell, without chanting through it. Then I'll move on to the questions. Ultima, who could be said to have a very cheerful voice, became the last words those poor people heard. In a few minutes, the smiling Ultima nodded. She was very happy to have all the information she wanted to know. Although there was no way to seize all the knowledge, sensing human brainwaves for intelligence was easy for Ultima. Then she looked to the one who was still alive. That man is Faraga. In the midst of this desperation, Ultima had no choice but to spare Faraga. You called me a fool, so I'm going to take the greatest fear and give it to you as a gift. If you try, maybe you'll survive, try to struggle. Ultima thus proclaimed was like a whisper, while unleashing a spell. A fist-sized pitch-black karma flame appeared in her left hand. Ultima threw something like that out with ease. Then take care of yourself. Goodbye. With these words, Ultima left the bridge. As he suffered the black flame core baptism, Faraga knew that his life was coming to an end at this time. Then after waiting for Ultima to fly away, the black fireball immediately devoured the command ship. And Faraga, who was forced to stay. It's beautiful. This is magic at its best. Faraga, while savoring the despair of being surrounded by extreme magic, and the good fortune that comes with that, comes to the end of his career. The air combat flying corps he led was completely destroyed by the flame of destruction, leaving not even a trace. The ships that remained in the air were all victimized by chain explosions and were sunk in an instant. So, before the original Imperial assassins, the air combat flying corps, had even fought with Veldora, all the ships were destroyed in the blink of an eye, defeated and left with a discredited record.